So, whereas Norma Zenteno was a talented and beloved Houston singer, songwriter, musician, she was the oldest daughter of Robert Zenteno, an admired bandleader and trumpet player who came to Houston in the 1950s and performed at venues all over Houston until his death in 2004. Norma was a natural talent and joined her father's band when she was a teenager. And whereas she later formed the Norma Zenteno Band, which went on to perform throughout Houston and Texas, developing a loyal following of fans and friends along the way, Norma sadly passed away from breast cancer in 2014. Her family, friends, and fans miss her dearly. And whereas in remembrance of Norma Zenteno and in honor of her life and legacy, there will be a statue placed in her honor in Houston's East End, the historic community where she grew up and where she and her family lived for many years. This will be the first female Hispanic sculpture in the city of Houston. The statue will consist, yes, let's cheer for that.
We as a board decided early on that this is a project we wanted to support. And in the past 2 years, through our Death by Chocolate fundraiser, we've been able to raise $30,000 for Barrio Dogs and the Zenteno Sculpture Project. This is something we believe in. We're very proud of this project. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here to share a few words about my beautiful friend, Norma Zenteno. Norma not only had a beautiful voice, but she was beautiful. And if you look up the definition of timeless beauty, that was Norma. She was a timeless beauty. Our families
very honored because the Zenteno family are dear friends, but even more so because Norma was a true friend. I was always so overwhelmed by the generosity they showed me when I was campaigning, and they would provide entertainment. It's not easy to do fundraising sometimes. As you already have heard through the short film, she came from a very loving, caring, and talented family. The reason for today is because of the great love they had for their daughter, their sister, their mother, and their friend. Norma's outer beauty was only rivaled by her inner being, a quality sometimes so rare to find. She possessed not only natural musical talent, she wrote, she arranged her music.
Night and the day and the night, our lives go on like our heartbeats. Are you waiting for? There's so much more in store, and it's waiting for you and me. And I'm wondering where you are, day and the night, and I'm wondering what you're doing, night and the day. And no matter how near or far, day and the night, I'm with you. What you mean to me, I wish that you could see, and you could feel the way my heart beats. Whether you're near or far, we know just where you are, and we take you places so sweet. And we're wondering where you are, day and the night, and we're
óyeme, lo canto yo. Bésame, yo logro que te quiero yo ya para toda la vida. Ándale, nos vamos a bailar solo juntos. Bésame, yo logro que te quiero yo ya para toda la vida.
with the softer music.
Me, what is your name?
My name is Brigitte Mongeon.
Okay, you have a card?
No, but I could spell it for you.
Spell it for me afterwards.
Okay.
So I might have to go change my battery real quick.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about the sculpture that we see right here behind you.
This is a sculpture of Norma Zenteno that I was commissioned to do by the Zenteno family. And we went through a lot of different poses and decided to do her sitting down and singing with her guitar so that everybody else can join in on the song.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about the process that went behind this. Is this bronze or what are we looking at here?
This is bronze, and also there's a dog that's with it because she was involved with Zenteno in barrio dogs, and so Kippy is a barrio dog that was rescued, and he's waiting for her to throw the stick. I just love the interaction between he and her. It's made of bronze, and it's not a solid bronze, it's just a thin layer of bronze. We did it in clay, and then we put a lot of detail in it. We put it in the mold and then sent it to a foundry here in Houston, and then they made it into bronze, and I just got it out of the foundry today.
Oh, okay. Now, when they approached you for the sculpture, did they say we were sitting down, or how was your interpretation of what the family wanted?
The Zenteno family came to me. I had just finished a sculpture of Alice in Wonderland's Mad Hatter Tea Party. They saw my work and they liked it, and then we went through a bunch of different things. Originally, she was going to be standing, and then we were going to put her in the east end on a wall, and decided to put her seated so that she could have more interaction with those people around her.
Okay, go ahead and spell your name.
B-R-I-D as in David, G as in girl, E-T-T-E, and my last name is Mongeon, M-O-N-G-E-O-N, Brigitte Mongeon.
Okay, very nice sculpture.
Thank you.
You'll be able to, I guess, hold on.
What are you talking about? The Centenos in my family, the Morales family, go way back many decades. My family had a radio station here in town. It was the first Spanish language radio station, and my dad promoted a lot of events where there were musicians and bands playing, and of course the Zentenos, Roberto Zenteno was always a part of that, and eventually Norma became a big part of the band, and so that's where it all started. But of course eventually my father passed away, and then Mr. Zenteno passed away, and then more recently I would go to see Norma at Sambuca in 1400, and yeah, just a wonderful world-class talent.
Okay, and back in October, I believe it was?
Known them for many years, partly because they were performers and entertainers during the time that I was growing up here in Houston for many years, and had the opportunity to listen to them and the orchestras and the different venues they played at. So in many respects, I grew up with them basically, but I was also good friends with Norma, and Norma was very dear to me, a good friend, but also very generous in that she provided a lot of the entertainment for my campaign fundraisers. So in that respect, I was very close.
Okay, and there was something you said that really stuck out, the Pan American.
Oh, the Pan American nightclub, oh my God.
I know.
Okay, that's where were we?
I moved to Houston in 1980, and I think I was just sort of peripherally, aware. But what I really began to learn about the Zenteno family was when I became the councilman for District 8, and they are such a part of this community. They are so important to the East End and to Houston, and so very well known. And then I guess I really got involved even more when Gloria Zenteno, sister-in-law, came to work with me.
Well, I'm the director of the Cultural Arts Center here, Talento Bilingüe, the Houston TBH, and Norma would always make herself available to our center from the very beginning of the formation of it. She always came out here to talk to the kids. She always did fundraisers for us, would come and sing for our Christmas in July, and just was a beautiful spirit that was readily available whenever we called her to help, or for her help.
So what do you think, now that she has this sculpture, what does that mean for the community, the music community, the Latin music community especially?
Well, I think, she's up there with icons that we've had in our community, especially right here in the inner city, like Lydia Mendoza, or Oscar Gonzalez, or even Ninfa had a Broadway musical. Our culture is so infused with music, and the historical significance her family has had. Not only in the 70s and now, but for the next, since the 30s, and with their vaudeville actor, her grandfather, so a lot.
Okay, thank you very much.
Today the sculpture was unveiled. It's been a long time coming. It was supposed to happen a while back, but we were having problems of where she's going to be finalized, in the city. So it's been a long time coming.
Oh, so that hasn't been determined yet where it's going to be?
No. We had two places, and unfortunately red tape with the city and this and that. But it's gonna be in a good spot ultimately, in a great
spot. What does this mean for your coming from a musical background, your father, Roberto? What does this mean for your family, for the Zenteno family?
It's awesome that Norma's going to be remembered. It's going to be here for decades. We hope. People will know who she was and what she meant to the city of Houston. A lot of people loved her, and my father. Fortunately, we didn't do one of my dad, but we did one for Norma. So it happened. Thank God.
Okay, that was perfect.